Youth activists come in all sizes, ages, and passions, and they are part of many more movements than you might expect. Consider the mill girls, for example, who worked in textile mills in Lowell, Massachusetts, and elsewhere during the Industrial Revolution. Many of the mill girls started working full-time when they were barely teenagers, or even younger. They were forced to work 12 or 13-hour days, 6 days per week, often under dreadful conditions. In protest, these young women organized labor actions throughout the 1830s and 1840s. Children as young as 11 participated in organizing strikes. The girls also managed to recruit over 4,000 signatories to petition the Massachusetts legislature to pass laws limiting the workday to 10 hours. Through their activism, these young factory girls laid the foundation for generations of labor organizers to come. More than a century later, the Greensboro, North Carolina sit-ins in 1960 began with just 4 young African-American men refusing to leave a segregated lunch counter. The actions of these 4 individuals led directly to the foundation of the extremely influential Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, or SNCC. The story of the Greensboro Four showcases how the courage of a small group can be the catalyst for a much larger movement. In 1989, youth activism challenged communist regimes around the globe. Collective youth action in Czechoslovakia toppled the government, while the sacrifice of one student in China's Tiananmen Square that same year continues to serve as an iconic historical moment of youth defiance. Youth activism these days addresses a head-spinning range of issues across the United States and around the globe. These include climate change, gun rights and gun control, racial and economic justice, immigration, freedom of speech, voter registration, GLBTQIA issues, right to life, sex education, democratization, anti-corruption, the list goes on. You may not even be aware that many well-known political movements were in fact launched or sustained by young people. The massive protests at Standing Rock, for example, were initiated by a few Lakota Sioux teenagers who founded the One Mind Youth Movement and organized against the Dakota XL pipeline. In the few months of protests in Hong Kong in 2019, over 750 youth ages 17 and under were arrested. This was a third of all arrests that summer and fall. In a very different form of protest, Malala Yousafzai's advocacy for girls' right to education in Pakistan and across the world initiated a global movement. With all these examples in mind, it is important to examine our own ideas about who we think about as youth activists and what we think they can accomplish. Explore the wide variety of youth activism and further refine your own ideas about what youth activism is and the kind of change that youth can make in the world.